Hi, everyone. The YouTube says we're live. I've got a 2-second delay on the chat, but if you could give me a thumbs up and let me know that you not only see but hear me, that would be fabulous. Welcome. I'm so glad everybody's here. So if you could find that little thumbs up button and let me know that you both see and hear me, I would appreciate it. You can probably see in the background, we're being joined by Miss Chloe, who is having an afternoon nap, and Allie just walked by. Hi, Maureen. Hi, Maggie. I noticed someone made a comment about what a great helper trans Grammy Julie is to me. She is definitely my right-hand person. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm seeing a thumbs up, a thumbs up. Good, people are getting to hear me. That's fabulous, fabulous. Let's go over the rules of the road a little bit, okay? Just for a couple minutes. And they're not much. I just want you to know that I am offering this live stream in love and light, and that's out to all of you. And hopefully you're joining in love, light, curiosity, even healthy skepticism. That's fine, for entertainment, whatever. But any negative energy that's focused towards this live stream, to this channel, to Julie or myself, we're just going to bundle it up and not even accept delivery. It's going straight to our loving creator to be transmuted into beautiful, clean, repurposed energy. So if you didn't come here with the best of intentions, just know that you're doing the universe a marvelous favor by offering that energy that we're sending on to our creator. Okay? So here's what's going to happen today. There were several questions I didn't get to in the last live stream, and Julie's making note of some questions that you're offering now, and I'll go back later and try to pick those out. Okay? So these questions have been offered during a live, even if it wasn't this live. That makes sense to everybody. If it wasn't offered in a live, it was sent to me in an email, and it intrigued me, and I thought it was worth a few minutes of our time. So let's get going, okay? My first question that I'm going to do today came originally from Josh. He wanted to know, I know it's been a week now, but when Mr. T had pizza at that pizza parlor after his rally, he wondered if there was comms involved and what they might be if there were. And we know that usually Mr. T has layers to what he says, what he does. So I thought that was a good question, and let's just look and see. So if you don't know the incident I'm talking about, after a Florida rally, Mr. T made a stop at a local pizzeria, and at the end of it, he purchased a lot of pizza for the local law enforcement that had come out and provided some help to the security measures, traffic flow, what have you, on that rally. And during it, he gave away, now he threatened to give away a pizza that had one of his bites out of it, but he didn't. He did give away slices even from that pizza, though. So he was, just trying to be genuine, I think. And but there may have been layers to it. Let's find out, okay? Now, because this is live, and I haven't figured out any way that live allows me to do multiple cameras, I'm going to simply do it here where you can see. As always on a live, show you it, because some of you are tarot readers. This is a selenite bar. It's a universal recharger. It doesn't need to be recharged itself. The cards sit on that in between questions. And you may think it's silly, but I do talk to my cards, and they are very aware that they're going to be doing multiple questions about very different topics today. Now, to help that along, besides having them sit on that selenite bar, I'll be tapping each corner of the deck in between. And that clears the energy. Maybe it's just clearing it for me so that I'm focused on the next question. But that's part of the process. Okay? So, Josh's question, were there comms or other insights and information that we should know about that highly publicized pizzeria stop by Mr. T on the 21st? Or I think it was the 21st. Let's just leave it at highly publicized pizzeria stop. Recently. Now, as you can see, fumble fingers, that was not a jump where we'd look at it and talk about it. I'll just do a little more shuffling. And this will be a Kachina knife spread. As always, you set your intention for the layout as you're shuffling, and do not change it after, or you don't get accurate information, and we want the most accurate information possible. Okay. Our first card is the Six of Wands. And then we have the Four of Swords. Four of Pentacles. Okay, Eight of Wands. 10 of Wands. 5 of Wands, lots of wands here. And the last one is the High Priestess. Okay, so yes, there were some comms involved. I say that because I'm seeing the High Priestess. Okay. Also, this is a lot about events and some generosity that was pre-planned, even though the pizzeria didn't have a lot of notice about it. Okay, now, Six of Wands, a victory card. Showing up for Mr. T in the situation, okay? He was feeling really good about how his rally had gone and gave the green light and thumbs up to have this event happen. Pardon me, I have to go. Okay, Four of Wands. There is a little bit of, I'm going to go with, on this card, there's some information we're not aware of, okay? There was some embedded meaning in that visit that only the people involved are going to understand, okay? Now, I think part of the meaning may have had to do with children, little ones, okay? Now, when I say that, in the recent past, we have the Four of Pentacles, which is a card of being careful with your resources. So while at the present time, Mr. T's had to, because he's not publicly acknowledged as being in an authority role or an elected role, he's had to kind of bide his time, but he's not giving up on his plan to move forward and make our world safer for little ones. When he does, there's going to be no help for those involved. He's going to be fast and furious, picking up the people that have made this world unsafe or in some way targeted and victimized little ones. Okay. Near future card, we've got the 10 of Wands showing up. Okay. So we're almost at the end here of when it doesn't seem like there's authority to move forward. Okay. So I'm getting that, yeah, the pizza had something to do with that symbology we know about, and also some meanings. Maybe it was just a heads up to the those involved with that kind of thing, that he wasn't letting that go. It was still a priority. Okay. To the point that, again, Wands for a little further insight and information. He'll take all comers when it involves safety and little ones. And High Priestesses are less relevant or less powerful insight and information card. But she always talks about when there's some information that's really close to being made public. And it's quite possible to do, it's just behind the veil. She's just in front of it. Okay. She's also a card that talks about, intuition and knowing when time is right, things like that. So right timing is important here. And the secrets are going to come out because nothing can stop what is coming. All right, let's look at a couple other cards and see what they have to say about that first question. Thank you, Josh. Ace of Cups, okay. A card of success and victory. So Mr. T is going to achieve his aims, including the ones he was hinting at with that pizza stop. And Two of Pentacles, okay. And I think what that's saying is right now he's kind of only able to do about half of what he'd like to do. There is action going on in the background. There is forward motion. There are apprehensions and other activities happening even now. They're just not quite in the public eye. Okay, I'm gonna pick that deck up and let it get a little bit of a rest on the selenite bar. And then we'll look at our second question. My moderator, Julie, if you, I'll check my text here in a minute if you want to send me any questions, and we might pick and choose. But if not, I'll just keep going with the ones that people patiently waited for some answers on. Now, understand, people, I am just one person. I can't answer every question you have about the entire world. Okay? So we're going to pick and choose sometimes. Sometimes you'll have a question that seems really good and it doesn't get talked about. Now, part of the reason why is occasionally, in fact, more and more often, which I love, I am seeing people ask me questions that deep down they know the answer to. They are not asking me to see if I know the answer to or if the tarot will find the answer to, but simply because they don't yet trust their discernment. Okay, but that tells me you're trying to use it, and that's fabulous. So when you have a question that you'd like to pose to me, pose it to yourself first. All right, we've talked about the sway test, the ask, okay? So you can use that. That seems to work with almost everybody. All right, so you can ask and just see how your discernment, your gut is telling you about a topic. And you don't always have to have someone that you view as a little farther along the awakening process or what have you to confirm it. Sometimes you can just have that inner knowing and be happy with it. All right. Next question was from Greg E., who submits questions quite frequently, and they're usually really thoughtful and thought-provoking. He said that back in 2020, Alice Collier had said that there were 3 nuclear warheads that were out there, and they were being used to kind of tie the hands of the White Hats in forward motion, that they were being used as a threat. He wondered if, well, let's first of all, in our question, we're going to ask about the validity of that, and then ask if it's still an issue. Okay? So that's where we're going with this question. Thank you, Greg E. And the question is, again, we would like to know if there's truth to the old reporting, and it was done in 2020, 3 years ago, by Alex Collier, that there were nuclear warheads that were under the control of the deep state cabal evil, and that they were being used to kind of slow the process, slow the tide, and he wondered if they were still an issue. So we'd like to know if that rumor was valid, and then if it's still an issue of concern. I personally don't resonate with that, because I think if there were any nuclear capabilities available to evil, it would have already, at least one of them would have already been used in that conflict that's happening in Europe. You know the one I'm talking about, even though I can't say it out loud here and stay on the channel. And we're being video bombed in the background. So, was that rumor true, and is it still a concern that there's nuclear capability in the hands of the deep state? Okay, we have a 6. I'm already feeling a little reassured. And that 6 is of swords. Then we have the Knight of Swords. I'm being even more reassured, and I'll explain why. We have the Hermit. I am getting even more reassured. We have the Star. Okay, you guys don't even need me to tell you what I'm seeing here, do you? But I will. Then we have, and I'm feeling even better, we have the 10 of Pentacles. I love when the cards are so clear and easy to discern. We have the 8 of Wands. And we have the Devil card, which, showing up where it is not a card of concern. So here's what I'm getting as far as that rumor. We were asking if it was true. Not getting any hard yeses. There were no aces that came up about that at all. Okay, I tend to think that that might not have been a factual concern even in 2020. But now it's definitely not, and we're getting the reassurance. The 6 of Swords, it always talks about going from a place of trouble to more calm and peace, and protecting innocent life in the process. And there would be no protecting of innocent life if nuclear capabilities were in the hands of those who would use it to further their power base, control, what have you. It's just that simple. Okay? Knight of Swords was telling us a little bit more. It's definitely one of my top white hat cards, alliance cards. Okay? I'm going to say alliance here because, as you know, I make no secret of the fact that I think that we have benevolent off-world and divine help in our cause to free humanity, to restore our path that our Creator designed. And that is shown with the recent past. We have the card of the Hermit, which is a divine energy card, and also one of my benevolent off-world, other help, can be future self too. If you think we won't at some point be able to trip around the timelines, I think you're sadly mistaken. Okay. And then for the present, we have the Star, nothing to worry about, card of success, and absolutely nothing to worry about as far as nuclear capability in the hands of evil. Okay. Moving forward, near future, we have the Ten of Pentacles, a card of multi-generation celebration. Again, saying there's nothing to worry about. Now, our strongest advice card is the Eight of Wands, which talks about fast-moving events. So there will be events, and they are going to involve rumors about that, including this one will probably continue. My read here today isn't going to thoroughly squelch that, but it will help. Okay? But events are going to just show that we've got some divine help, and our path is getting more and more clear to be restored and back in line with what our Creator intended. Okay. I apologize for the coughs. They're going to happen. I will cover them so you don't have to worry about germs and put your masks on, okay? Okay, moving decks again. 4 taps. Our next question. Let me see what my moderator said because I saw my screen light up here. Okay. All right. I'm hearing that some of you can't hear me now. I will try to speak up. I've just moved this as close as I can. Is it better? Is it better? I see Sharon Albo's got a question there about will there be a scare event soon? I've done reads where I'm getting information that we're going to get a sky event more than a scare event. So I think things are going to make some nice positive changes before we have to worry about that. But we could ask the cards about that, okay? All right, so for Sharon Albo. Oh, good. Heads up. Good. Thumbs up. She wanted to know. And let's ask it, let's blend it in with that sky event. Okay? Can people on this timeline and this path of reality expect a scare event in the near future? Or is a sky event more likely to be what we can anticipate first? Now, I leave it to sky event because I don't know how things are going to roll out. You know, if you're a fundamental Christian, you believe that there's going to be a rapture. Spiritual-based people are going more towards an ascension event. There's just been talk about, domes lifting. And what the common thread through all of those is a celestial event of some kind. Other people talk about a solar flash and flare that will be restorative and change our world. So by leaving it at sky event, I don't narrow the universe down to giving us information on one possible path when others might be a more accurate term. So the best generic term that I can come up with is sky event. And we're asking if a scare event can be anticipated, and if so, is it going to happen before a sky event, or will the sky event be the likely contender? Let's find out. I want to make sure you see all the cuts. I moved closer to the computer so you could hear me better, but that does make for an awkward card sitting here. Okay, we've got the Four of Swords. Then we have the King of Wands. We have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Four of Cups. We have the Moon. We have the Wheel of Fortune. And we have the Two of Cups. Okay, so Sharon, I'm glad I asked the question because I stand to some degree corrected here. All right, according to what the cards are telling me, first of all, our question was indicated by the Four of Swords, which talks about hidden blessings and hidden information both. Okay, so we're already being told that there's some information that's just not quite available to us. And we were asking about timing or what have you. What is available to us, we do know that it is being, the King of Wands is very wise. Okay, so it is a truth and wisdom based type of situation. The recent past, we have the Queen of Pentacles, a card of generosity, and just a reassuring that we do have those who have some control and power that are watching out for us. The present, we have another four, the Four of Cups. Again, a card of how even if you're resting and, rather than thinking nothing's going on and bored, there's stuff going on, including stuff that's not quite readily available to you. But if you just broaden your worldview, you'd see those things. Okay. Now, I'm going to say why I stood corrected that we are looking at the scare event happening because we have the Moon card showing up in the near future. So it does look like, even though the Moon is a celestial type of thing, the Moon card itself tends to be not a very happy card. Okay, so it does look like we're going to have the scare event first. Wheel of Fortune kind of tells us not to worry. The scare event is all part of the plan unfolding the way it should roll out, and it will roll out for the good. Okay? And that at the end of things, there is some alignment and agreement and good relationships to look forward to. So the scare event, however it may be, and we've already been reassured that we don't have to worry about nuclear, even though it's talked about, it's not a viable concern. That the scare event, however, whatever it might be, is probably going to precede the sky event, or at least an attempt at a scare event. You don't buy into it, it's not going to happen. Okay? We have a lot of power. We need to own it and use it. And yeah. Okay, I'm going to get those cards back in the deck. Okay, one more question. Now that I've moved a little closer, thumbs up if you're still hearing me better. And I was supposed to have my new computer, was supposed to be here yesterday. In fact, it may arrive during the live stream. I have to sign for it. So if someone knocks on my door, I am going to excuse myself and take my chubby body over there and sign for it real quick, just so you know, okay? All right. Pardon me 1 second. This is a whole production and it's live. Okay. So Lupin in the green had a question. She wanted to know how functional are 5G towers. Okay. Now we have heard, and this is going to kind of segue into my next question. Okay. We have heard that there was nefarious intent with 5G originally, that those were all about controlling the population, okay, or affecting moods and some type of subliminal control. We've also heard that those mechanisms have been to great extent neutralized. Okay, so we're going to keep this question though then as far as the original intent. The original intent for 5G or any negative intent that was associated with 5G towers, is it still a concern? Let's see what the universe has to say. 5G towers, the original intent or any intent that was negative or nefarious, is that still a concern? If so, to what degree? All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I do appreciate you being here. I really do. Our first card is the 9. I'm sorry, I sound like a broken record. I'm already reassured. We got the 9 of Swords here, which always stands for you have much percentage less story about than you think you do. Okay, then we have the 5 of Swords. And those swords are about our thoughts and words, and where some of that control that was going to come from 5G would have been towards our thoughts. I like seeing these swords showing up. Recent past, we have the 6 of Pentacles. Our current position, we're going to have the Knight of Pentacles. Future, we've got the 4 of Pentacles. Little insights about the future, we've got the King of Swords and the Queen of Cups. Okay, so I'm going to give you an earworm. Start thinking about, don't worry, be happy. Okay, we were asking the nefarious intent, does it remain? And if so, to what extent does it remain involving 5G towers? Okay, a lot of it's been neutralized. Nothing to worry about. Okay, now that neutralization has been done strategically and done well. Okay, and so the darkness has been defeated as far as having control and an ability to roll out in full what they originally intended with 5G towers. Thank you. Okay, card of generosity for the recent past. So it's actually been nullified and neutralized to a large degree. I'm not going to say completely, to a large degree, even before we did this read about it. Okay, it's showing up in the recent past. Our current card was a white hat card, Knight of Pentacles, which is usually a military card. So the military was involved with that neutralization of the nefarious elements of 5G. And he also talks about right action. He's not reckless. He's very stable, forward motion planning, and very reliable. If I was going to follow any military card, this is one of the ones I would want to follow because I know it's stable, well thought up action, and campaign plans are symbolized here. And again, we got the 4 of Pentacles showing up. Different deck than last time. 4 of Pentacles is showing up, just reminding us right now, with the world situation the way it seems to be, there has to be some careful distribution and use of resources. Okay, so again, a lot of things happen in the background and quietly, and unfortunately, a few things are on hold until they can actually happen within the public eye. King of Swords, another white hat card, so we know who to thank for the fact that 5G is not nearly as harmful as what they had hoped. How can you want to rule the world and control a population and still want to kill it? I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay, Queen of Cups, emotional intelligence. Again, we're talking about the skills and abilities that were considered soft skills previously. We're being encouraged to use them as we consider all of these type of questions and events, and just use our emotional intelligence again to direct our energy flow where it's useful, where it will be beneficial, and just work on those skills there, and knowing when you're dealing with a situation where fear is being mongered, don't play. Now, I said this question was going to segue into the next question, and it will. We've been seeing a lot recently about teens. There was a lot of coverage. This is from an email from my beloved viewer in Germany, Bara. She's the one that, oh, I should have thought of that. She sent me the Sun card tarot cloth I have. If I had been a little better organized, I would have used that for my cloth today, because she provided some of the inspiration for where we're going with our next couple of items. So Chicago teens have been doing these coordinated snatch and grabs where they walk into these high dollar stores and in a gang and in a large group and take out huge amounts of merchandise. They're also doing it storming into Walmarts and just destroying them. And sometimes there's been a lot of destruction in conjunction with the looting and the stealing. So, Bara's question, which I thought was really good, because remember, we just heard that 5G has been to a large degree neutralized. But we also know that Chicago is one of the strongholds of evil for our United States of America. And her question was, especially in the Chicago area where there's these teen atrocities going on, is 5G a triggering element or component of what is getting them set off? And I thought that was an excellent question. Let's ask the universe and see if there's insights and information on, is 5G a component or element of what is behind the Chicago teen crime sprees and looting and vandalism that's going on? And unfortunately, they're doing it during store hours, and innocent shoppers are being harmed. And as a consequence, many stores are closing, and that'll make it harder for people in inner cities to access a variety of merchandise at a reasonable price. So it's kind of like shooting yourself in the foot. Okay. We have the Six of Swords. We have the Nine of Swords. We have the Empress. We have the King of Pentacles. We have the Sun. We have Judgment. And we have Page of Wands. Okay. Intuitively looking at the cards, and I'll show you what elements are kind of bolstering that. I'm not getting any indication that 5G is setting these teens off. There may be other triggers and components going on, but it's not connected to 5G. Now, could it be some predictive programming that is happening in their media? Possibly. Okay, could it just simply be some of these fad events that they have? You know, there's all those TikTok challenges, things like that. So are they hoping for some fame, notoriety, easy money? I think that's kind of what's going on here. Okay. All right. So the situation's being shown by the Six of Swords, which again, you know, is protecting innocent life. You know, that's kind of embedded in this card's meaning always. So the situation is that. So what I'm seeing is that that situation where this is like the current spree of concern is probably kind of already running its course. I say that because the further information card again here is the card that classically tells us there's not as much to worry about as we think there. That was the one that also told me probably not the 5G. It may just have to do more with, you know, opportunity and peer pressure, things like that. Okay, and again, we have the Empress card showing up for the recent past. Again, letting us know that 5G isn't really an element of concern for what's going on there, even though it is actions of concern. The 5G is not an element of it. King of Pentacles showing up again, reassuring us. And we have the Sun card moving forward. So it just looks like, to me, Abara, you wanted to know if 5G was an element, a trigger, if there was mind control going on. If there is, it's not coming from 5G. It may be coming from, like I said, some predictive programming in media or what have you. It just may be that they're all, you know, peer pressure, and that is the fad of the week type of thing that's going on. But it's not that they're being mind-controlled zombies. They may be media-influenced zombies, but they're not mind-controlled by 5G. Okay. Now, Bara had some interesting information for me, and I want to share it with you. She lives in Germany, and I know that Germany and Oz are still reporting a lot of chemtrail activity that does not seem to be beneficial. Okay, and while other parts of the world are saying that they're seeing trees are greener than they've ever been and flowers are brighter, so obviously some of what's happening now is corrective in nature. Germany seems to be one of the places where it's not. And Bara said some mornings when she walks outside and checks her bird bath after they've been sprayed, there's little black specks in it, in the water, that have been captured by whatever was being sprayed. And when that has happened, she takes a very strong vinegar and boils it to clear the air and to cleanse the energy. And you can do some searching about the benefits of vinegar. It's a very natural substance, not harmful, wonderful for cleaning. So she is boiling it and steaming her air in her apartment. And of course, it's very strong smelling. So windows get opened. Well, what she noticed is when she does that, there is all of a sudden a lot of air traffic over where she lives, like they're trying to discern what's putting, you know, think of a hole in the ozone layer, what's putting a hole in the chemtrail layer. She said the circling around where she lives is just incredible during the boiling process. She has a friend who's also of the awakening level that she is, who lives on the other side of this large town that does the same thing and notices the same thing. So again, with two different parts of a large town, which I'm not going to name, I think large, okay? They would not be same flight paths. This circling has got to be them trying to figure out who and what is putting a hole in that chemtrail spread. So I wanted to bring that up for a few reasons. If you feel like you still live in an area where the chemtrails are not beneficial, or you have some concern that they aren't, you might want to boil some vinegar for your peace of mind, for your cleaner air. It can't hurt, it might help. And when you do, check out the skies overhead and see if the same craft that are laying those chemtrails start circling and trying to figure out who is thwarting them and how are they doing it. All right, so let's do a read about that. I'm going to ask about this specific situation. I want insights and information. on the cleansing efforts done by Bara and her friend using boiled vinegar. If this is effective and if there's other insights and information the universe wants us to know about this practice, and let's see what the universe wants us to know, okay? So, is it truly effective and are there other insights and information the universe wants us to know? This live stream is getting a little woo, isn't it? Okay. Right, our first card is the Page of Wands. Then the Page of Swords. Knight of Wands. Pentacles. Three of Pentacles. Okay. King of Wands. Wands are actions, so it's reporting on her actions here and advising us about it. Tower. The Emperor. Very interesting. Oh, Bara, I'm so glad you wrote me. Okay. Well, Page of Wands is one of my unofficial White Hat cards. It may not be for every reader, but it is for me. Okay, and the universe knows that. So her actions are actually beneficial. Okay. Now, they're not nearly what is going to remedy the situation completely, so we don't need to use up all the vinegar made in the entire world. But yeah, it's having an effect. Okay. Swords are about justice as well as thoughts and words. So yeah, she is. It is having some good effect. Okay. Now, recent past, we have the Knight of Wands, okay, and the Three of Pentacles is our current one, which is a card of stability, good foundations. So the science behind the boiling of the vinegar is sound, and it is well worth doing. Absolutely. Boiled vinegar doesn't smell good, but you know what? If it cleans some energy out of your air, including some that has harmful intent, it's, I think, definitely worth going forward with. King of Wands, here we have a card again of some justice and honesty and wisdom, so it's wise. This action is wise. Now, not only that, it's going to help bring about a tower moment for the plans and intent of those doing less than beneficial chemtrailing. And the Emperor shows up, which is my ultimate White Hat card, not for the strongest one. The Tower moment's going to precipitate this, a time of restoration, and when we have some good representation and good things happening. So yeah, in a very small way, but small but meaningful way, Bara, you're doing something that's effective and is helping to advance a healthy human agenda. So good for you. Absolutely good for you. Anyway, I thought that was fascinating. Thought I'd share that with you. All right. Let me check my list here. Okay. I'm looking actually in the comments here. See lots of comments about birds. Talk about the vinegar. Looking for a cue. Okay. Here's a good one. Tippy Canoe wanted to know, this isn't going to involve a read, it's just going to involve answering. Tippy Canoe wanted to know if I was doing more videos lately because we're getting closer to the event. No, Tippy, I do think we are getting closer to a big event and world changes. But my production schedule just has more to do with my personal plans for the channel. And now that I'm settled, I had always spoken with Julie because things had gotten kind of condensed and abbreviated while I was moving. And I said, and that started March 3rd. I said March and April are going to be, I won't be able to devote as much time to the channel. I'm just kind of getting back on a production schedule that I can manage now that I'm no longer moving and selling a property. I am looking at some to buy, but uh, I'm not quite as multitasking as much, so I can do these videos more often. And then when there was some shenanigans with my Zoom, and it took days to get any kind of customer service from Zoom, that kicked off the lives, which seemed to have been fairly well received. Like I said, I've got a couple of them that were doing better than 46's live stream. And I said, if people enjoy that, let's layer a few of those in too. We are hoping to get back more regular to subscriber spotlights. And I consider the one I did about MMS with Colleen M to be that offering for this week. I've got everybody that ever offered to do a subscriber spotlight. I still have those emails, and I'll be reaching out to people to see if they're still interested and would like to do one. And then, as always, since my brand started with one topic videos, usually of current events, but occasionally just topical interest type of things, I want to continue having those as part of the mix. So yeah, some one topic videos, and then occasionally live stream and occasionally a subscriber spotlight. And the production schedule has more to do with my availability and energy levels and not so much with current events. Although I have told people, if we have a big event happen and it's at all possible to go live and talk with people and just kind of be here for you, I will do it. It may be, though, that those kind of things interfere with the communications. And then my hope is that as you've been waking up and learning, you will know to meet unexpected events, not with fear, but with awe. Grab your lawn chair and enjoy the show. It's a once in a, creation event. And hopefully you'll be doing that. And if you can, because of something I've said or a perspective I've helped you to adopt, then I kind of feel like, I'm doing my job right. So that kind of answers that question. Okay. Okay. Are there any further questions? If not, I'm going to just thank you for being here. I'm going to remind you that I'll be doing a video with Linda Paris this weekend that won't be on YouTube. It will show up on another site that ends with itShoot. So we're doing that Sunday afternoon. It should be up Sunday evening, Monday at the latest. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's a good question. Play to Win, 1958. One final question. Wants to know who is in charge of the weather. I personally believe that the deep state, the shenanigans gang, still has some control over that. But let's see if the cards can inform us about how much control is in the hands of the shenanigans gang. Okay, so good question. Let me get the cards reset here. Okay, and how much weather control is in the hands of the deep state? Since I've just now decided which way to go with this, I'll have to keep shuffling for a minute. So how much weather control is in the hands of the deep state, the shenanigans gang? And I'm going to ask the universe in the looking ahead, no, the present. In the present, we're going to be looking for the how much information there. Quite often, I look at the numeric value of the card that shows up for that. Okay, Page of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, the Chariot. So things have been changing. The Magician. Important question. We've got an ace and 2 major arcana so far. Moving ahead, we've got the 4 of Cups, the Moon, and the 6 of Cups for an additional insight and information. Okay, so what I'm getting from these cards is that there is still some control, but it's less. Okay, it has been severely dealt with to the point that I'm going to say they're down to less than, now I don't think they ever had 100% control, but of the control they had, they're down to about 40% of that. So they're still able to do some influencing of the weather, okay, but not nearly to the extent that they did in the past, that they could in the past, okay? And quite often that, and they're not happy about it. It's so sad, too bad, right? But ultimately for us, we're going to be, safe and happy and dealing with that. I look forward to the day when, if there is any weather control that's happening, and I'd love to have a year where the natural rhythms got to prevail with no shenanigans. But that if it is, it's to mitigate a drought situation. It's to soften a severe storm so that natural wildlife that's struggling gets a little bit of a break, things like that. So the deep state does still have some control, but not nearly what they had. And ultimately, they're going to be losing even what little they have now. Okay? And we're going to help make it so by making it manifest, aren't we? Okay, I'm going to call that it for today. And darn it, I thought if anything would make that computer arrive and me need to sign for it, to be having the live stream going. And it's still not here. So, but it's supposed to be by the end of the day. So I have my fingers crossed and hope. Okay. Thank you so much for being here and being part of what we do. And it's offered for entertainment, but I do try to the best of my ability to really tap into some intuition and insights that come from my higher self and my loving creator. And just a little advisory, I don't do traditional channeling. So you're never going to hear me trying to talk to someone that's been dead for 200 years. Not going to happen. If that 200-year-old whatever wants to talk to my higher self and let her relay a message, it could happen that way. But I don't allow or give any consent to channeling. In other words, making myself vulnerable to energy that could be tricky or hard to detach once I allow it in. And I encourage you, if you tarot read, to do the same thing. Because really, folks, as long as you're getting information and insights that come from your higher self and whoever your loving creator is that you worship, that's enough. That's enough. You don't need to be finding out, what King George had for his last breakfast, or whatever. All right. So thank you so much for joining me. I love seeing the chat and the comments. I did set this live stream, just like last time, up for live chat replay. Sometimes, even though I set it up that way, YouTube doesn't follow through, but hopefully they will this time. And usually if I take a picture of it and make it known that I took a picture of, the settings screen, it happens. So hopefully we'll be able to enjoy that conversation later, and I'll dig through in any questions that we didn't get to this week. I'll try to the next time we meet. Usually planning to do these on Friday, but again, I'm a retired one person channel. So sometimes it might not happen, or sometimes it might happen on Saturday instead. We do seem to keep getting better responses on Friday, which kind of surprised me because I thought on the weekends, I don't know, people are busy, I guess, doing their family things. I just thought where they didn't have to work, it'd be easier to tune in on the weekends. But we'll do it when we do it, and we'll cover what we cover, and we'll have fun in the process, right? Because that's part of what life's about, is having fun and not being stressed and not being worried and just realizing that things will roll out when they're going to roll out. And as much as we'd like it to be today, we're going to do our best to just be okay and wait until it happens. So everyone, I send you love and light, and I'm going to stop this live stream in about 10 seconds, just in case someone's still typing something that they want up there, okay? And after I close this, it will be on my tab under live, and you're welcome to make comments there, or, put some questions or what have you. So we'll have it for next time, or maybe during the week, who knows? Good night.